Let's dig in because it's been a little while since you and I have gone back and talked business from 1993. And the next 2 weeks, we're going to wrap up 1993. And well, actually, this week we wrap up 1993. We're talking December this week. We discussed November 1993 the last time we were together. And you're not on television, if you can recall. I know it's been a while ago since we recorded. You were away. But when we were talking last, they had started that whole split with you and Paul Roma. They got Ric Flair transitioning into the role of challenger for Vader's world title. Sid's leaving the company. We have the split of the Hollywood Blondes. There were several other topics we were discussing, but just to kind of level set where we left off with things. This week, we're going to continue the story because we're marching to Starrcade. It's the 10th anniversary of Starrcade 1993, and so we're going to focus a lot of our attention there. But I want to open this week continuing that talk and that split between you and Paul Roma, sir. And if you remember, the last time we were together, you and Roma took on Steve Austin and Paul Orndorff in a tag match. Roma doesn't make the save and allowed Austin to get the pin after the assassin jumped on the apron and told you not to make the save. And we actually have a follow-up to that segment. And we want to remind all of you listening that this interview we're about to watch, it was recorded in October. It doesn't air until December 4th, 1993 on Saturday Night Wrestling. We're going to jump right into it. We have 5 clips this week. This is our first clip. It's following an enhancement match. You stand alongside the leader of Slapdick Nation. That's right, Mr. Noah Anthony Schiavone himself. Let's take a look at what you had to say in our first clip of the week. Here we go.
Back to replay. There you see Anderson catching Burton off the ropes. The nice pivot drives him down into the canvas.
All right, thanks a lot, Jess. And I tell you, tremendous win for Arn Anderson in singles competition. We've said it many times. Probably the greatest tag team wrestler the sport has ever seen. Been a world tag team champion on many occasions, many different partners, and of course in singles competition, as we've just seen. But over the past couple of weeks, a lot's been happening to you, and you wanted to talk to me about something that's kind of laying heavy on your mind for the past week, especially after the tag team match we just saw not too long ago.
Well, Tony, if you look at this shiner and you follow what's been happening the last few weeks, you would think if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all, but not so. You see, everybody's choosing sides. Seems like Paul Orndorff, Steve Austin have got some alliance. A couple of weeks ago, they did a tap dance on me. During a match with Orndorff, Steve Austin hit the ring, and they did a pretty good job, as you can see. Well, I looked at my partner, and I said, you got to suck it up. You know what it's going to take. I need somebody to watch my back. We went into that tag match. I thought everything was fine. I hit Steve Austin with that Spinebuster. That was all she wrote, and then somebody dumped a ton of bricks on the back of my head. I didn't know what happened. I couldn't make heads or tails of it till I got home and saw the match back on TV, and then I saw what happened. Roma, I don't know if you just had a mental lapse. I don't know if you just froze, that you had some vision that King Kong had broke out of Disney World and was standing on the other side of the ring. I don't know if you thought you were in a swimming pool and Jaws was swimming for you, but you just froze. Now understand one thing, you're either in or you're out. You're either a horseman or you're not. There is no gray area where that's concerned. You're either gonna be my partner or you're not. Now you're not here to defend yourself, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But understand one thing, and all these people will attest to it, my friend. You stick a knife in my back, I'm gonna pull it out and shove it down your throat. Rest assured, I don't take anything laying down.
The enforcer, Arn Anderson, still to come.
Whew, there's a little bit of intensity there, Arn, and what you had to say. But I like it because, first of all, one of the things that I noticed right away, you let Tony hold the mic while he talked into it. Nobody seems to allow him to hold the mic anymore. They all want to rip it out of his hands.
Yeah, and that's kind of unprofessional, isn't it?
Don't you think? I think so too.
I look at it from Tony's perspective. Now what does he do? Stand there and fold his arms?
Yeah.
It's unprofessional. Unless he's going to just leave the ring, leaving him standing there with his hand on his pud is just not professional.
It isn't. And then you see guys constantly moving his hand up, and it's like, guys, we can hear you. Just talk. Quit worrying about him. Just talk. It's fine. But man, they get all caught up into that. But you did a professional job here. It's a great interview because I love the storytelling. You bring the audience up to speed on the issue and how you lost the match. But it starts to really continue to tell that story about the slow breakup between you and Roma. After looking back at this, Arn, from 30 years ago, how do you think this came off? What do you think about this form of storytelling here?
Well, it was subtle, and I like subtle. It wasn't, unless you were looking at it and that's the only thing you were looking at. If you were looking at what was going on in general, you might not have even caught it the first time. But then when you isolate it and you look at me and you look at where he is and the lack of a save, then it gets pretty clear, I think.
I love it. I love it from your point of view, how you're feeling, how he's feeling. It really kind of depicts Roma and his thoughts. And what do you see? Jaws swimming after you? You're frozen. What's going on here, pal? But we know because of everything that happened after Halloween Havoc that you were off TV. But to the company's credit here, Arn, this interview served to lay the foundation for what we would see next.